Hello, this video will cover advanced Reaper topics revolving around efficiency and creativity. So hopefully you'll find this useful, and let's get started. To open the navigator window, press Ctrl-Alt-V, then hold the right mouse and drag to create a zoom window, then hold the left mouse and drag to reposition anywhere in your project quickly. With the mouse inside the main track window, scrolling with the middle mouse wheel zooms in and out horizontally, and holding down Control with the middle mouse wheel zooms in and out vertically. Hold down Alt and scroll the mouse wheel to scroll the window left and right. Hold down Control and Alt and scroll the mouse wheel to scroll up and down. You can also zoom in and out with the plus and minus buttons, and you can scroll vertically with the mouse along the left side using the mouse wheel again, or you can use the scroll bars along the side and the bottom. When I first started using Reaper, I handled my routing with the I/O buttons. So you can set up your sends and your receives and whether or not you want to go to the master track. But there's an easier and faster way. If you hit Alt-R, this is your routing matrix. It might look complicated at first glance, but it's really simple. These boxes are whether or not you want to send each one of these tracks to master, and then if you want to send them to any of these other tracks. So for example, I've got my bass, low pass, and high pass, and I'm sending them to my bass submix, but not to my master directly. And then I look at my bass submix, and that is sending to my master, and it's also sending to some parallel effects tracks. It's much faster to do it this way than to use these individually. Go to Options, Preferences under the General section, and check the box that says Save Undo History with Project Files, as well as Allow Load of Undo History. Without this, you can still go back to older versions of things, but this just makes it easier. Okay, I'm going to go through a very basic form of automation just to give you an introduction to automation. This is an ocean sound that I want to fade out toward the end of my track rather than have it cut off abruptly. That's a very easy thing to create an automation parameter for using volume. So I already have it here, but I'm going to get rid of it and redo it so you can see how it's done. And just FYI, to get rid of an automation, you just click on this symbol right here and click Clear Envelope. Okay, so this is how it will be starting out before you have anything. So again, you want to find that same symbol for track envelope / automation. Left click on that, and then you'll have all of these parameters. If you have anything loaded in your FX, there will be parameters for those as well. Whether it's an EQ or a software synth or anything, there's going to be probably a lot of parameters. Like I have a software synth element stereo, but if I don't want to look at those, I just hit the minus, and then it's a bit simpler, more wieldy to deal with. So for this, I just want volume, and it should automatically check the boxes for visible and armed. And if you've already been doing some mixing and that's already where you want it, great. Just be careful not to change it. If you change it, but you want to put it back to what you mixed the level to, you can always hit undo. So to fade this out, say I want to fade it right here, then I right click on the line. I would create a new point, and then somewhere however long I want the fade to be over here. I right click again, create another new point. And then when I see the cross with the 4 arrows, I can move that point. And you just want to hover over this and double check that it's negative INF if you want it to fade out completely. Or another thing you could do is isolate the section you want to change first. So click your cursor at the starting point, hit S to slice, then pick the other side where you want to slice and press S. So now it's a separate section. You can see there's an automatic crossfade, so you can adjust that if you want. And then if you want to reduce the volume, you just go with your cursor to the top of the track, drag down to reduce the volume. Or if you want to increase the volume, you can't do that from here. It'll just go up to 0, but what you can do is just right click on the section and go to item properties, and then in the middle here you've got volume pan. You can increase the volume there and then just hit apply, and you can see it's been increased. Say you want to change the theme for Reaper to make it easier on your eyes or whatever. It's actually really easy. First you download some themes that you like. I put them in the install data color themes subfolder, and then you just take the theme and you drag and drop it into Reaper. Or also you can go to options, themes, and anything that you've used before should be there to switch between. I highly recommend using templates to speed up the setup process at the beginning of a project. I have a few templates set up here already. So basically what this means is, instead of having to every time create a new track and add the FX that I want and set up all of the routing that I want, I can just go to project templates and load that template. And that saves a lot of time. Okay, so this is going to be a quick look at everything that you need to do to record automation through your USB controller. Make sure that you've loaded a software synth in your FX and arm it for recording. When you right click on the record button, you want the input to be audio or MIDI, and you want your input MIDI to go to your particular USB controller and all channels. And once that's armed, you can open your software synth interface, and obviously they're all going to be different. This is the little MIDI symbol. You click on that, and that's how you can assign the different controllers on your interface to the parameters in the software synth, which I've already done here, but I'll just show you. Like, so for assigning the cutoff, I turn whichever knob I want to use for that. Click on resonance, assign that. Envelope amount, assign it. And when you're done with all of your assignments, you click that again, and they should all work. I've got a few others here that are also set up. Okay, so that's all ready to go. So now, how do you actually record it? We go into track envelopes automation, and we just click the parameters that we've assigned to our controller, which we want to record the performance of. Okay, and those should all be visible and armed. You can always arm all if they're not. And you can also arm them here. We can just double check to make sure we've got the right ones here. And now we're ready to go. So you just hit record, And you can change the parameters and it'll record everything. And then before you play back everything, be sure, this is critical, to switch from write to read mode. That way you're not overwriting whatever you've got here. And that concludes our look at advanced Reaper techniques. I hope you found this useful, and happy producing.